Hey you guys, it's Peter and welcome to my channel, Peter Watches TV, where I watch all the TV shows and then I come over here and I talk about them. So if you like to watch TV shows, all kinds of TV shows, all of the reality shows, all the silliest reality shows, all true crime, all the newest true crime I cover over here. There's a lot coming out in October that I'm really excited about covering. And also scripted TV shows that are trending online right now. I watch all of them and then I come over here and I talk about them. So if you like to watch TV, why not come hang out with me and subscribe to my channel and let's have a conversation in the comment section below. All right, so today I want to talk about Season 20 of Sister Wives, Episode 2 that aired last night. I cannot believe that we are already on Episode 2 of Season 20. We're starting to get into, well, not necessarily the meat and potatoes of it. We're kind of getting, I mean, it's just the tip of the knife in the kidney at this point. It's not all the way in, you know what I mean? It's not all the way in. I mean, we're just kind of getting the Kody Brown ramen noodle hair. It's getting a little wet right now. By the way, did you guys notice at the very end when Kody and Robyn were talking at the house? I don't know if it was the lighting on the filming or whatever, but it looked to me like Kody had just gone up to the beauty shop to get his ramen noodle hairdo. It looked like he had just got it bleached and that there were some highlights in it. It was kind of like 1985 chunky highlights once their hairdo back at the beauty shop. You know what I mean? It was kind of like, did you get a spiral perm too? But no, I was kind of like, what is going on with Kody Brown's hair? Like, I mean, Robyn Brown shops at Rue 21 and Kody Brown gets his hair done at the beauty shop. Okay, with my grandma back in the day, and she get her nails and she get her hair done at the beauty shop once a week. So I could just see Kody Brown sitting up there. He's probably looking for another sister wife at the beauty shop. Anyway, but his hair looks so blonde to me. I know he's a natural blonde. I know he's a natural blonde. But I wonder if like Robyn is ever like, could you please just to turn me on flat iron your hair like you used to do back in the day? Because, you know, back in the day his hair was like so like, you know, straight, and now it's so curly. So I wish we would have got full episodes of Kody Brown flat ironing his hair back in the day. Okay, so this episode was called Welcome to Speed Dating, because the entire thing was kind of shot around Meri going to the speed dating event, which her and her friend Jen were driving to the first episode. So basically, the whole season of Meri is just going to be her at a speed dating event. That's how they're like factoring Meri into this. I will say this, and this is actually in my notes. In watching all the spinoffs, like, I really like hearing about Janelle in North Carolina and building the farm and stuff like that. You know, people have speculated, like, if they did spinoffs of the different, like, wives, like, who people would watch. And I'm not just saying this because of the drama going on and stuff like that. I'm really, to be honest with you, not that interested in Kody and Robyn anymore. Like, as far as doing reactions to the show, it's fun to talk about. And how the other wives talk about them and stuff like that, and Coyote Pass, it's fun to talk about. But, like, if I were going to watch a spinoff of Kody and Robyn, like, their lives are pretty boring to me. There's not really a whole lot going on. I wouldn't really be interested in watching Kody and Robyn. Christine and David, I think he seems very nice for her. I'm glad that she's happy. All of her dreams are coming true. But Christine and David kind of bore me a little bit too. I like Janelle's life. As far as a spinoff, I don't see, and Christine's made it clear she doesn't want to really film a whole lot more, but she did this season, I guess, to get her $1 million. But anyway, Janelle going to like North Carolina and building this flower farm and stuff, I could see that being a spinoff. Like, I could see her doing a spinoff. But of all of them, what's interesting is Meri with Jen cracked me up so much. Like, at the very end of the speed dating event, when Jen was like asking her about like the men that she interacted with and like telling her like she was going to fill out the card. And then before, and she's like, what's the one question you have to ask? And Meri was like, have you committed any crime? Like, what crime have you committed? And she's like, crimes. Like, the play back and forth between Meri and Jen is so endearing to me. I just love that friendship so much. I mean, thank God for Jen, because if it wasn't for Jen, Meri, I mean, what would we do? Just watch her Windex down the kitchen at the B&B? So I'm so thankful that Jen is on the show, but I love their back and forth. Like, I was sitting there watching it last night and I was like, I could watch a half an hour with Jen and Meri as a spinoff. Like, I think that would be funny, you know? Meri, like, Robyn and Kody are still like lingering into the past. Robyn, like, I don't know, like, she is still so stuck in 5 seasons ago. So anyway, but the episode was called Welcome to Speed Dating, but I'm going to call it Kody versus the Ex-Wives Club because Janelle referenced the Ex-Wives Club in this episode, and it was probably my favorite part of the episode. So let's get right into this. Okay, so these are from my notes. You better take notes because there will be a test at the end of this episode. Okay, the episode of my reaction videos. So when it starts, we're in Salt Lake City, and Meri and Jen are there for, her friend Jen, are there for the speed dating event. And that's when she says to her, like, what are you supposed to ask? And she says, like, what crimes did you commit? It was interesting. I thought there would be more people there. There only looked like there was, like, 4 women and 4 men at the speed dating event. So they had, like, 10 minutes with each pair to go in and out of it. It was hilarious to me. I actually kind of really enjoyed this part of it. And at the end, she met this guy. I'll just get to this part now because I know it kind of by heart since I just watched it last night. The guy that she had the most fun talking to, I think his name was Daniel, but he was 37 and Meri's 54. And so she's like, you could be my kid. And then she met a guy at the end, I think his name was Ron, and he seemed really nice for her and stuff like that. One of the guys, though, I can't remember what his name was, Gordon or something like that. He came up to her and he said something about, or maybe it was Ron, I can't remember. I don't think it was Ron. I think it was the guy before him that said, you're a bit of a celebrity here. And so Meri explained that whenever she goes to events, she doesn't know, like, who will know her there. And I thought, that's got to be hard in a situation like that, where you're like, oh my God, that's Meri Brown. She was married to Cody. She had three sister wives. Like, they're all talking about her behind her back, right? So it's like, she doesn't know what she's going into. Well, this one guy makes a joke, and she said, are you divorced? And or something like that. And he says, yes, I was married twice, but not at the same time. And Meri goes in this whole thing and she's like, I don't like dumb jokes. She's like, basically not jokes at her expense of her family and her life and stuff like that. She goes into more explanation than that. But really, there's only one guy that she seems kind of interested in. And then she's like, but I don't know. Let's wait till tomorrow. Because they're supposed to, like, scan a QR code, like, who they're interested in. And then the woman arranging it, it's, like, very safe the way they do it. She'll, like, connect them after the event is over. But Jen's like, I'll just go up and ask him for his number right now. She's like, we didn't drive all this way 4 hours. She's like, I'll just ask. And Meri's like, no. And then Jen's like, this is so me and my friend Tawny Jean. Jen is like, well, I vetted him out before the event even started. I told him I wasn't like one of the women, but I just started talking to him, and I knew he was like a good pick for you. I love their interactions. So anyway, the episode starts and ends with the speed dating, which probably took a half an hour, and it's like Meri's only part of the whole episode. So I think it's going to be hard to find Meri like a lot of screen time this episode. I've said this in last season. Unless she's with, like, her designer or Jen or, like, her and Janelle talking about Coyote Pass, like, it's hard. Like, she has nobody to film with. So, I mean, unless she's doing an interview, I think this season's going to rely heavily on a lot of interviews. So then the next episode, the next part of the episode, which I have a lot of notes on, is in Flagstaff, and we're with Kody and Robyn. And Kody is cutting down a tree like he's done. I just went back and watched episode 1. So I'm going back and I'm watching from episode 1 and covering them. So I just did that last week. I'm going to see episode 2 sometime this week and cover it if you guys want to go back and watch with me. So in the first episode, he is cutting down trees too. So apparently Kody still loves cutting down trees. They're talking about Coyote Pass. Flips to Janelle. She says it's been 2 years since she and Kody broke up, and he still has not added them to the titles of the property. And so she got an attorney, and her and Meri have, like, worked very, very hard on getting their names added to the titles of the property legally. Or, like, all across the board of all the pieces of the property. Christine's not part of it anymore because Christine sold her part for, I think, $10 when she left Kody for exchange for the house or something like that. Kody says he just wants to be done with Coyote Pass. Robyn says that she's still holding on to the past. And he's like, I just want to sell. This was interesting to me. I mean, I've noticed this in the past, not so much with Robyn, but with the other wives. Like, when they move to Flagstaff, when Kody wants something, Kody pushes it so hard. And with Robyn, he was really, really pushing, selling Coyote Pass. But not only selling Coyote Pass, selling their house that they're in, which we know that they're out of now, and they bought a new house. So he's like, I just want to sell. And then she laughs at him. And he says, she says something about, she keeps on going out there to Coyote Pass. She walks out there and she puts all of her good energy out there. You do, Robyn? What good energy do you put out there, girl? The good energy you're putting on Coyote Pass. Isn't doing no good out there on Coyote Pass, honey. Nothing's growing out there. Nobody building no houses out there. And Janelle says, I love this. This is where I think production, I think this is where it is going to be the last season. Because TLC is allowing them to say some things they would never have allowed them to say before. Janelle goes into this whole thing and said she never had the dream of them all living out there together. That she could see herself living on Coyote Pass, but as far as them all living together, like and having even separate houses or one big house, she never saw that dream. Then she goes in and she says that Meri would have done it out of devotion to Kody and Robyn. Christine never wanted to do it. And she's like, so Coyote Pass was never going to happen. It was a pipe. She goes, as soon as we knew, I think she said, she says she never had the dream of them living all together, and soon after moving to Flagstaff realized it was never going to happen. So, I mean, I think that's why Kody came up with a lot of the rules during the lockdown, all this kind of stuff. She says none of them really wanted to move there, and Robyn's house is basically on Coyote Pass anyway. It's like she can see it from there. So why would they need to build out there? Because it gives them a storyline. I mean, it's so ridiculous to me that Cody's having conversations with Robyn, and she's like, well, I don't think Janelle wants to. Janelle is living on a farm in North Carolina, and Robyn is in Flagstaff in 2025, still talking about how she doesn't think that Janelle wants to live on Coyote Pass. Fuck no, she doesn't want to live in Coyote Pass. She's moved. She's bought property in North Carolina. I mean, Robyn is like, is she delusional? Like, what is going on? Like, does she not watch anything on the show or keep up with anything? She has to know that Christine is married to David and lives in Salt Lake City, that Meri owns her B&B event center in Parowan. She's not moving back. Janelle's in North Carolina with like 4 of the kids, and half of Christine's kids are moving there. Why does Robyn keep on thinking that anybody's interested in Coyote Pass? Nobody's interested in Coyote Pass. They just want their fucking money. Cody's not even interested in Coyote Pass anymore. It's this whole scenario that Robyn has to keep up to act like she was the only really good, loyal, polygamist wife. That's what it is. It's only about that she is not willing to let go of the dream of the family. The family. Well, she was never really that good at playing house anyway. She was really never that good of a sister wife until they were all gone, and then she wanted to claim she was the best sister wife out of all of them. It's a fraud. Robyn is a fraud. So then Kody says maybe once they sell the property that the ex-wives will be happy about it, and then they'll be nice to him. And Robyn says, well, you've been kind of hard on them too, which she doesn't like that she says that. And then she talks about how miscommunication happens so quickly. I'm like, okay, here we go. It's always miscommunication to Robyn and Kody, which then you find out that Meri literally and Janelle haven't gotten Janelle finally got an email from Kody. Meri hasn't heard from him in 3 months about Coyote Pass. So where's the miscommunication there? There's no communication. Miscommunication is not no communication. There's a difference between that, right? So they always put these, they talk about word salad. They always put this word salad around it. Then Kody talks about how Robyn is angelic and close to God and won't let him do anything naughty, no matter how bad he wants. People online are going crazy about that laugh that he did. He knew that was a moment on the show. He knew that moment. I think I used that screenshot. Did I include it in here? I don't remember what time it was. But that laugh that he does, I was going to use it for my thumbnail. I did take pictures of it. Here, I'll just show you right now my pictures that I took of Kody last night. Hold on a second. Oh, look, here's a picture of me before I got my hair cut today. Here he is right here. Oh, here he is with his blonde highlights. Kody, listen, this is when you know, just shave it all off. You would be a much better looking man if you just shaved it all off, okay? My receding hairline is receded about 5 years ago, about as far back as it's going to go. That's about as far back as it's going to go. If my crown was going back here, I would just listen. I'm not afraid to hide it, and I wear a hat any day anyway, but I would just shave my hair off and go bald. I think bald men are attractive. Okay, let me get back into my notes. So anyway, he says he wants to sell and move on, and Robyn just says she's so tired. She's just so tired of it all. What are you so tired doing, girl? Doing your eyebrows? What does she do? I said this in my last episode recap. We never see what Robyn does. Does she go out to lunch with her girlfriends? I don't know. Does she still run in Sister Wives Closet? Are they selling a lot of Claudia rings? I mean, what does she do all day long? I don't get what she does. She says that she feels like she's betraying the family by giving in, but she knows that she needs to move on. This is where Robyn is so full of shit. The family is over. What family are you betraying? The family is fucking over. There's no way she can really believe that. There is no way that Robyn hand to God, hand on the Bible, really believes that she is betraying the family by selling Coyote Pass. The family is gone. Christine is remarried, okay? Meri's at speed dating and Janelle's in North Carolina. What family are you betraying? Your husband won't talk to any of the kids. And he says it's their fault. He talks about it later in the episode. So who are you betraying? Brisha, Frisha, sheet set and mattress? Who are you betraying? That's your family now, okay? So that must be who you're betraying. So you want to hold on to Coyote Pass for your kids, so your kids can sell it and make the money off of it. I get it. She actually, at one part of the episode, I thought it was interesting, she refers to the other kids as Cody's kids. But if she goes, your kids. But if she talks about having a safe space for them, she goes, for your kids to come visit. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Because if you really believe that you were such a good sister wife, wouldn't you say our kids to come visit? Because wouldn't you consider them your kids as well? No matter what they had done? A lot of people have trauma with their parents. A lot of people have trauma with their kids. But if you're such a devout sister wife and you're the only one and you don't want to sell the property because that betrays your family, what family when you're calling Cody's kids with his other wife his kids? When forever you've said that they're your kids. It's why you went to McKelty when she had her baby. And I mean, to me, that was a moment where she showed her true colors. She feels like she's betraying the family by giving in, but she knows that she needs to move on. Coyote Pass is a symbol for the family. He asks her if she'd ever want to sell it all and move away, like out of town. And then he kind of backtracks and talks about just out of this area of Flagstaff because there's so much heartache at the house. She says she wants enough space for the kids to be around. And then she goes, and when his kids decide when your kids want to decide to come over too. That was where she said it. And then he says his heart was broken by so many things at this place. He wants out so bad. And he talks about Garrison's passing. And he talks about the wives and leaving, all this kind of stuff. Then we're back with Meri and she's speed dating again. She talks about how she wants a 6-foot guy. How tall is Kody Brown? She keeps on talking about how she wants a tall guy. How tall is Kody Brown? I feel like I need to know that. How tall? Because if he's 6 foot, is Kody Brown. How tall is he? It says he's 6'3". There's no fucking way. His height is a widely known fact about him. He has been involved in discussions about his... Okay, I guess is he 6'3"? And that estimate he's about 6 foot tall. How tall is Robyn Brown? 5'4". If he's 6'3", why does she keep on saying this time she wants a tall man? 6 foot. She keeps on saying that over and over and over again. But anyway, that's when the guy makes the joke and she don't like that. Then we're at McKelty and Tony's house and they're moving to North Carolina. I was like, oh. Now, if you remember last week, okay, there was this big thing about Christine's like, I would never want to live in North Carolina. And then it was about this whole thing about where the kids are going to gather for holidays and gatherings. And Christine was like, I'm sure that just as many kids will gather at my house as they will at Janelle's, okay? And there was a bitterness there, and I couldn't really even almost kind of figure it out. Like, Janelle even said, and people said I was reading into it last week, and maybe I was, but I thought I noticed a little bit of a bitterness, like a competition a little bit, between Janelle and Christine in a way that I had never seen before. Well, what we didn't know, we did if you, like, read the blogs and stuff, but as far as filming, was that the next week was when McKelty and Tony were moving. There was a discussion that she was like, well, Janelle's going to be near all the grandbabies, even though she's 4 hours away. And McKelty explains that, or Christine explains for McKelty, that McKelty wants to be closer to Maddie because she wants their kids to be cousins together. And because Tony didn't want her to be a polygamist and she didn't want to have sister wives, whatever, I don't know. So anyway, so she wants to be closer to family. Well, they're now like all moving out there. Like Peyton's wanting to move out there. And Janelle's like, and so Janelle's like, yeah, have them all come out here. Well, Christine's very territorial, and she was the first one that left the family. And now she got her, like, area, and she's, like, talking about how, like, they're talking about how, like, even Truly kind of joked about wanting to move out there. And I think Christine does seem like she feels a little threatened that everybody wants to move out. Why doesn't Christine just move out to North Carolina? I mean, her and Janelle are so close, and the kids are all out there. She could move out there, too. So anyway, that's the whole thing. But it makes sense to me now why Christine seemed pissed last episode. Because there is some kind of competition, and it's not about who's having the gathering. It's that all the people are moving out. Well, maybe North Carolina, this is the thing that's interesting to me about it is that the selling point of being polygamous was that all their kids were brothers and sisters, and they wanted them to grow up together. Now they're adults, and they get along better than some siblings that I know, and they want to be in the same area. And then Christine is upset because they all want to be in North Carolina. I don't think it really has anything to do with Janelle. I think it has to do with the fact that Maddie and Caleb are out there and that a lot of the other people are out there. Isabel moved back, but like some of them are moving out there and a lot more want to move out there to North Carolina. It probably just seems freeing for them and they're all together as siblings, you know? Anyway, Cody then goes on to say that most of his relationships with his adult children are strained and that it's an issue of trash talk and innuendo. Now, he has said this for several seasons on the show, that it's basically what he's saying is that the wives are trash talking him behind his back to the kids. Well, your kids, some of them are almost 30 now, if not older, so I think they can make up their own minds, and they're not going to just listen to everything that their mom says. Plus, there's an entire TV show. There's interviews that you and Robyn have done. You refuse to answer questions on the sit-down reunion, which isn't even a reunion because you won't all sit together. So I think the kids can make up their own decisions. Plus, they all have their own TikToks and Instagrams where they talk about things. In fact, Peyton just came out recently and said that he hadn't talked to you since Garrison's funeral in a year and a half. And you hadn't reached out to him in a year and a half. Peyton just said that. So I don't know what innuendo and what trash talk is going on behind your back, that if that were my kid and I wanted a relationship with them that bad, I'd be calling every week, no matter what the trash talk was. But you haven't even reached out in a year and a half, and that was per your child. So I don't know if that's your child trash talking, that's what you're saying, but that came out in a TikTok that Peyton did. The other kids have said that McKelty and Tony tried to meet up with you before they moved, and you said that you and Robyn had so many things planned, and then McKelty and Tony had things planned. You're her dad, okay? You're not going to see her again once she moves to North Carolina. We've seen how you don't see the other kids. If you really wanted to see McKelty and Tony and your grandkids so badly, you would have canceled whatever. What did you have going on that was so important that you couldn't see McKelty and Tony? Those are the efforts that your kids want to see you show up. They want to see you suit up and show up, and you didn't do that. That speaks volumes. That speaks more volumes than trash talk and innuendo. Just cancel something, whatever you had going on. I don't know what you have that's going on, maybe selling guns at some swap meet. That's so important that you can't see your daughter, that held on till the very end. But it came out in Christine's book that it was you and Robyn that ended the relationship with McKelty. So it makes a lot of sense that you didn't show up for her to go, even though she invited you. And on the show, last week, Maddie was talking about her relationship with you and that she would apologize all over and do whatever you needed her to do to show up, and you don't. And here McKelty is saying she invited you to show up and see her off, and you didn't show up for that either. So the common denominator with your interviews and your kids' interviews is that you consistently are the one that doesn't show up. That's not trash talk and innuendo, Cody. That's you, okay? And yeah, I am talking right to you. Christine says that McKelty really tried really hard to get the family all back together, and it just kind of fell apart. And so she's frustrated and she's tired, and so she's just taking care of herself, and she's moving to North Carolina. I think it's a good idea for her. I wish her and Tony all the best. And then Christine and David are helping McKelty move to North Carolina. It was cute. They found this little Yorkie outside, and it was like one of the neighbor's dogs. And David jokes about Christine eating the dog. He's like, better get the dog away from Christine because that's what polygamists do. She's like real tense because she's stressed about McKelty moving. And then he jokes about, because she asked him if he wanted to help her move. And he's like, yeah, we just moved Janelle. Why not move McKelty? And he's like, you were with a husband that wouldn't do anything for you. Now that you got a husband that'll do anything for you, you asked me to do everything. Christine kind of seems, I feel like Christine's kind of going through a little bit of something. I don't know, like, she feels like she finally got her life together. She constantly talks about, I'm so happy, I have my dream, whatever. But then her kids are moving. I think it's really bothering her. And this is where I wish that Christine could just show up on camera and be fucking honest. Like, you just put out a book that seemed, I don't know, didn't seem super vulnerable at times. I wish you could just get on camera and be like, I finally got my kids all back together in one place, and now they're all moving out, like, out east. And yeah, I am kind of pissed about it. Like, I want them here with me. Like, can we not even have those kind of honest conversations? I don't know. Then we flip to Janelle and Meri. Janelle's talking to Meri on like a computer call, Zoom call. They're talking about Coyote Pass. And that Cody says that he just wants to put them all on the titles together. So they will each be on all 4 parts of the title. So that they will each get an equal portion of each piece. Which means that they will each get, I believe, 25% is what it says. They're both open to it. Cody won't talk to Meri because she's just always nagging at him, is what he says. And so he wants Janelle to tell Meri. And then he laughs again real weird, and he says that they're just upset with him because he wasn't talking to them. Well, Robyn said it was miscommunication. Now you're saying that you weren't talking. So you and Robyn are catching each other in your own lies? Because Robyn said it was miscommunication, that they were upset with you. Now you're saying that you weren't talking to them. You were saying you weren't communicating. So could you and Robyn get on the same page for your lies? Okay. So anyway, then he laughs and says that he said, I was just confused about how to do the selling of it. Well, you hired a real estate agent 2 years ago and went out there to Coyote Pass. We saw that on an episode. That was 2 years ago. He says, I was just confused about it all. And he goes, then they talk about, this is where Janelle says, she goes, I'm sorry, but I needed to have an ex-wives club for a moment. It was fantastic. It was absolutely fantastic. Janelle and Meri talk about, well, Janelle really is the one that does it, about Cody constantly talking about his shy, pretty wife, Robyn. And Meri says, the only wife or the pretty wife? And then they both laugh. And Janelle says she needed the ex-wives club for a moment. Meri makes fun of Cody for saying that he's afraid of talking to Meri. They go on this whole thing about Robyn being shy and how shy she is. Like, Janelle goes to town on it. It's like, Janelle is so funny in this moment. I lived for it. I was like, this is what I want more of on this show, okay? It was so hilarious. It was the best moment of the show. Then Janelle says, yeah, okay. Then Janelle says that she invited him to have the conversation, and he said no because he doesn't really like her. And Janelle goes, well, I don't really like you either. Meri's like, I love that they can finally be adults and just tell each other that they don't like each other. And so then Janelle says it'll be a nice parting gift since neither of them got alimony. And Janelle says she would have taken, if they had been legally married, she would have taken half of his assets if they had been legally married. She said in the last episode, they should just legalize polygamy because if they did, no man would marry that many wives because they would just screw them out of their money. Then it's Christine, they're driving. They're talking about Janelle saying she's going to have all the grandbabies there and everybody wanting to move to North Carolina. The kids just want to be close together, and then they talk about David wanting to be a tornado chaser, and I didn't really understand why this was coming up, but it plays out in just a second. Then we're back to Cody and Robyn, talking about the selling of Coyote Pass and the title changing. Each person will get 25% equally, paid equally. Cody wants to move away from the house because there's just so many bad memories there, lots of pain going on there. He says he's gone through all these emotions, and he's gone through a triple divorce. Triple divorce. Is that the first time he said that? I kind of like that. Triple divorce. Anyway, he wants them to start over again. Robyn says she wants space for the kids. Robyn thinks it's important for them to repair. She thinks it's important for him to repair relationships with his kids, with your kids, is what she says. And then she says, if they have the space, the kids will come. Like, if you build it, they will come. I'm like, Robyn, it's not about the space. She's like, if we have a big enough house, your kids will come to visit. They're like, Truly will come to visit if she has her own room. They live in a $2 million home. Why the fuck doesn't Truly have her own room? Okay? I mean, that should be the first thing that should be important to Cody if he's wanting to repair those relationships. Furthermore, you don't have foundation. And Robyn kind of insinuates this, but it's like she's scared to even bring it up to him anymore. Last episode, she said, he just says, like, mind your own business, basically, if she brings it up. But she's under this assumption that if they have this big enough space, that all of his older kids are going to come home and visit and bring their grandbabies. Girl, are you still in delusion land? Listen, come out of Oz. This is not happening, honey, okay? McKelty's not showing up with her top hat anytime soon to do a song and dance on your door. She says not, okay? She says, but she does say that the pain does not go away. She's like, being this close to Coyote Pass and seeing people build on it is going to break my heart. But she says that just by moving away, it doesn't heal the pain. And she doesn't know if selling the house and moving is the answer. And he says, let's just look for he is so manipulative. You want to see Cody Brown in the epitome of his manipulation? Watch this 30 seconds where he's like, let's just find the home that you want, and then we'll go look at it. And she says, just give me a day to pray on it. And he goes, okay, but if we find the home, we're going to go look at it. He is so manipulative in this moment. It's so sick. Like, I don't feel sorry for Robyn very often, but in this moment, I kind of was like, this is how Cody always gets his way. It's just really, really pushy. Then they show them, like, driving down the road, and McKelty and Tony are driving, and they're moving, and they're talking with David and Christine, and they see a tornado in the distance, and there's alerts for getting strong hailstorms. David tells McKelty to just keep driving through the storm, which I don't know what I thought about that. And then McKelty's like, Tony, stop. Like, the hail is denting the windshield, and that's how that's how the episode ends. So that was this week's episode of Cody and the Ex-Wives Club and the Triple Divorce. So let me know what you thought about it in the comment section below. If there was anything I missed, remind me. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.